So in your new venture, like that you are embarking on, you are going to make use of AI also.
There's elements where we can use AI. For example, the entire content and the automation piece will be AI. Will be using AI. But I've not yet looked at the creation of tools, because if you notice, and I've been tracking it closely for the last 6 months. I mean, the level of innovation I'm seeing in AI is not funny. I mean, the kind of innovation that was taking six months, 3 months, 8 months, and so on earlier, I think is happening in days, in terms of days now. So I think it's impossible to build a tool here. We should just pick up what you can, execute, dump it, and pick a new one, and so on. I think that is the mode of the industry right now. So I'm observing, I'm studying, I'm keeping track of it, but we're not building anything in AI. I think it's wiser right now to
Okay.
use the AI that's already available in terms of automation, like Sid says, and content and branding and so on, so that you can get to a certain point. Maybe this frenzy, this level of innovation will kind of taper down, maybe plateau a little bit in about a year or so. And then I think there'll be some clear opportunities to actually build something. Yeah.
Great, great. Yeah, we are nearly approaching our time, like scheduled time. But yeah, it has been very interesting, and I can totally see you are so passionate about telecom, and you are all pure telecom guy. So just for our viewers' sake, let's add some element like, so. Apart from telecom, what are the areas like, say, extracurricular activities that you do? What are the other areas of interest that you have?
Oh, interested. Okay. I love to. I do a lot of reading and writing. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of writing. I published a couple of books during COVID. So my books, both books are available on Amazon.
Technical or
Uh,
non-technical?
Sorry, say that again, Dinesh. I think I
Technical.
lost you.
So your books are like technical or non-technical? Like
No,
that's what my
both,
question.
yeah, both were pieces of fiction. Both were fiction.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Fiction. Wow.
fiction. Yeah. And so I also like to draw. I used to draw as a kid a lot, but now slowly I'm beginning to feel that some of these inner callings are inviting me. So I feel like dedicating some time for that. And I'm so that those are things I do. I also do. I'm also a fairly regular meditator. I've been doing this for a long time. See this
Hmm.
sense of where quantum physics is going today and where spiritualism has led us all these years. I find it's a place where these two. I think we're going to watch very soon these two coming together. I think the abilities of spiritual science and what our sages and ancestors, traditionally have been able to demonstrate, and I think that border between science and spirituality, I think, is kind of blurring, and a lot of quantum physics is now beginning to actually come to the same conclusion that we had before. So I think some very
Yes.
interesting models are beginning to appear. I might find something. I have a couple of ideas there that I want to develop and write on. And I'm not sure if I want to write another book. I might actually start writing a series of articles on this very gray area, which is fascinating to me. It seems like that is the void. You know, if I, maybe this is for another podcast, Dinesh. Maybe not for this podcast, but I have another 30 minutes I can talk about. How we emerge from nowhere and then go back into nowhere, and in that meantime, a lot of magic can be created. That's my view.
Yeah. Yeah. And our whole life is like that. We come out of nowhere, and finally we have to go to nowhere. And within that lifetime, it's up to us, like what we want to do and all those things. So
Exactly.
yeah, like you are. So that's an area of interest for me also. Like I have read this book, Becoming Supernatural. Over there, spirituality, quantum physics, and everything. Dr. Joe Dispenza, he has
So the
combined.
Jody
And
Spencer.
yeah, it's a
Yes.
great area of interest for me also.
Let's do another chat and talk about it sometime.
We'll do that. We'll do that for you. So since you are so fond of reading, share like a couple of your favorite books like that you would like to share with our audience.
One of my favorite books definitely is um, if you're familiar with Yuval Sapiens, that entire Sapiens series by Yuval Noah Harari. which
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah. That's one of my,
that
yeah.
the trilogy. I think that's
You
an
all know
absolute,
Harari.
yeah, yeah, that's an absolute must keep. Everyone should, buy a set and keep it and read it as much as you can. That's number one. Number two is on the spiritual side, there is a book. If you have interest, I would recommend you to read um, this book called I Am That. It's by
I am that.
Nisarga Datta Maharaj. Yeah, Nisarga Datta Maharaj. He's actually a Maharashtrian, believe it or not, he is a Maharashtrian beetle nut seller. He was actually pretty much an
Hmm.
illiterate type of guy. And he was going through a certain phase of transformation, and he became an enlightened monk. But he continued to sell betel nut and so on the streets of Mumbai. And this guy's conversations have been recorded by his followers and published into a book. It is called I Am That. It's a fascinating book about a first person account, and most of it is in the form of question and answers. Very, very
Hmm.
deeply connects with you. I've read that book. It's a fat book. It's about 500-600 pages, I think. I've read that book like 6-7 times, and even now I go back. And my edition is all in pages because it's all old, but I still go back and read it because it's kind of fascinating. That's one. That's on the this side of life, and on the management side, one of the best books I read ever, and I recommend again, is um, Atomic Matters.
Atomic matters.
Atomic Habits by James
Atomic
Clear.
habits. Okay.
Yeah, Atomic
Yeah,
Habits. I
yeah.
think it's a fascinating book. And then after that, there's a series of books. I read at least 5-6 books uh, every month, mostly on Audible or Kindle, because I don't have space to keep those many books. And I mean, I can give you many more, but these top three come to mind right now.
Yeah. Sapiens, I'm a big fan of like Sapiens, like, and
Yes,
I have started taking its comics version also. Like they are releasing those comics version, and I'm taking
yes,
those also.
yes. I saw
Although
that.
I find it a little kiddish kind of, but the original books are really like they were like mind blowing kind of stuff at
Yeah,
times.
yeah, I think so. It kind of set a context of what happened in the last 12,000 years. You
Correct,
know,
correct.
how did we come from nomads to tribes to kingdoms to nations to continents to communities? I think it's a fascinating book. He's done a great job.
Great job. And it gives a different perspective to things from compared to what we have learned in a traditional way. It gives a
Correct,
different perspective.
correct.
Yeah. Great, great,
And out
great
and
sharing,
outside
Sridhar.
and outside of and outside of these three books, I think one of the evergreen classics that I'll be making a mistake if I don't quote is either either Ramayana or the Gita or both, because I am now realizing that I wish I had read this earlier because they're classics actually, both of them, right? I mean, there's so much to
Chalo, better
learn.
late than never. Better late than never. See,
Exactly. Yeah.
Gita, each
True.
and every sentence is so loaded with philosophy and everything. If one can
Yeah.
grasp that, like one's mind and life will totally be at different levels. So Gita is something like totally loaded stuff.
True. Yeah. If something can stand the test of time for 5,000 years, there must be something of
Yes,
real value in it. Yeah.
yes. Cool, cool, Sridhar. Great stuff. Great sharing. Great interacting with you. We have already exceeded our scheduled time. We'll definitely have another round of interaction to get more wealth of information and knowledge from you. So I thank you. Thank you for your time, sharing all the stuff that you had, and we'll definitely meet again.
It was a pleasure catching up. Thank you for inviting me, and all the best as you continue talking to folks and enriching your community. Thank you for being here.
Sure. I hope our viewers got a lot of tons of value out of this session, and we'll definitely call Sridhar again for another round of interaction. I'll close this live now. So bye for now. Sridhar, you may stay like in the studio, and we'll interact a little more.
Okay, I'll be right here. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.